Hello everyone. In this video, we're going to cover the concept of quartile and interquartile range. We're going to learn how to find and compute the 5-number summary, and we're going to take a simple example to illustrate the idea. So let's see how we are going to do. What are quartiles? Quartiles are the values which divides our data set into roughly 4 equal parts, right? I hope you must have heard the word quartiles before, or at least the word quarter before, as our dollar amount is divided into 4 equal parts. There are 4 quarters in a dollar. So on a similar line, the quartiles are the values which divides our data set into roughly 4 equal parts. So what I have done here on this side, look at that. I'm showing you a data set in a form of a line, or it's like a tower, and I'm assuming I have arranged my values in an increasing order. These are the smaller values, and as we go up, all the values are increased, right? So first of all, we need to understand what is the median. This is what we already know. What is the median? Median is a value which divides our data set into 2 equal parts, right? This is the median. This is our median, and it divides our data sets into 2 equal parts. This part is called the bottom half, and this part is called the top half. So the median divides our data set into 2 halves, right? This is 50%, this portion is 50%, and this portion is 50%, right? Now, this is exactly what I told you. We find the median of the entire data set. Right? Now, the question that comes to the mind immediately, okay, you have divided your data into 2 halves. Okay, what is the status of this median? Is this median belongs to the bottom half, or is this median belong to the top half? This is the question which I'm about to answer now. You have to decide this by looking at the number of observations. If the number of data values are odd, this median always belongs to both the halves. If the number of data values are odd, this median belongs to the bottom half, and this median also belongs to the top half. This is very important, and remember at the same time that there are other definitions exist. Look at that. There are other methods exist. There are other ways of defining the same idea, right? And if you look at the other textbook, or you look at other videos, you will find, oh, this person is not defining the same thing in the same way, right? So I'm using the method which is described in our book so that there is no confusion for the students. So, but remember this, where this cutoff value will belongs to, will it belongs to the top half, or will it belong to the bottom half? It's decided by the number of observation. If the number of observation is odd, we include the median in both the halves. Okay. Let's now see what is Q1. Q1, just focus on the bottom half. Just focus on the bottom half. This is our bottom half. This is the bottom half. And let's find the median of this bottom half. This one. This is called the first quartile, Q1, or we call this the first quartile. First quartile. What is the first quartile? It is the median of the bottom half. This one. This is our bottom half, and the median of the bottom half is called the first quartile, and it's also represented by Q1. Now just focus on the top half. This is the top half. The median of the top half, this top half, is called the third quartile or upper quartile. Third quartile or upper quartile, and it's also represented by Q3. This is a symbolic way of defining it. Like this, we use this symbol for this one. So we have a Q1, we have a Q3. The question comes to the mind, where is Q2? Remember that Q2, this median is the Q2. So in this scenario, there is no difference between a second quartile and a median. Median is also called the second quartile. So the Q1 is the median of the bottom half, which is the first quartile or the lower quartile. Q2 is the median of the entire data set. And Q3 is the median of the top half of our data set. It's also represented by Q3, and it's also called the upper quartile or the third quartile. And this is exactly what I told you, that there are other definition exist. There are other definition exist. So you don't be confused by that. Not all statisticians, they do not define this these values in the same way. So if you find other definitions, don't be confused. Don't be confused by that. That should be very clear. Now we see what is an interquartile range. This is a short for this is IQR, right? So IQR is a short for interquartile range, right? Interquartile range, IQR. And how we define this interquartile range? It is defined as the difference between the third quartile and the third quartile and the first quartile, Q3 minus Q1. So it's just a subtraction problem. Take away the Q1 from the Q3. This is called interquartile range. Okay. Next, the concept of 5-number summary. What is a 5-number summary? These five numbers, these five numbers the minimum value, the first quartile, the second quartile, the third quartile, and the maximum value. These 5 numbers, they make the 5-number summary. These 5 values make the 5-number summary of our data set, right? So if I ask you, give me the 5-number summary, if I ask you give me the 5-number summary, it means I'm asking you what is the minimum value in the data set, what is the first quartile, what is the second quartile, what is the third quartile, and what is the maximum value. They need to be in this order. You can't change the order, right? Or Q1 will always come first, Q2 will come first, and Q3, and like this. So you can't change the order. These 5 number makes the 5-number summary of our data set. Now what we do, we take an example now to see how we do the computation. And when we take the example, you really understand what's going on. Let's take an example. Okay, look at this example. We are given a data set and we are asked to find Q1, Q3, Q2, Q3, and IQR. These are the 4 things we need to compute, and the data set is this one. Okay, so first of all, we are going to find these 3 quartiles, and out of these 3 quartiles, we are going to compute Q2 first, right? We're not going to find Q1, we're not going to find Q3, rather we're going to find Q2. And remember, Q2 is the median of the entire data set, right? This is our data set and we want to find the median, and we already learned how to find the median. But wait a minute, we can't find the median right away because this data is not arranged. This is not in an increasing order. So let me arrange the data. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and a 9. This is the data now. It's in a range, right? I have arranged this data. Now there are odd number of observations. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. These are 9 observations. So what will happen? The value exactly in the middle. This value is exactly in the middle. This is the value which is exactly in the middle. Why? Because these are the values. These are 4 values which are below, and these are the 4 values which are above. So this is the value. This is the value which is exactly in the middle. So this is the median. This is our median. So Q2 is equal to 5, and this is also equal to, let me correct that a little. this is also equal, this Q2 is 5, and this is also the median of our data set. Okay, that's a first thing we need to understand. We need to find median of the entire data set. Now this median divides our data into two halves. This 5 divides our data into two halves. This half, this is the bottom 50%, and this is the top 50%. And what we are going to do, we're going to take these two halves one by one. So the lower half, the bottom half, so we'll write the bottom half of our data set is 1, 2, 3, 4, right? But remember, our number of observations are odd, and I told you whenever the number of observations are odd, we always include the median in both the halves. So this median will be here also. So remember, I'm just pointing this out why I took this 5, right? So now what we're going to do, we're going to find Q1, and what will be the Q1? Q1 will be the median of the bottom half of the data set, and clearly the median of this bottom half, the median of this bottom half is like this, 3. This is 3, the median. So Q1 is the median of the bottom half, and that is equal to a 3. I hope it is clear. And now what we are going to do, we're going to focus on the top half of the data set. Let me write the top half. Top half. What is the top half? Is a 6, 7, 8, and a 9. But wait a minute, our number of observations are odd, so we have to include this median in this half also. Okay, so let me write a 5 here, and I'm putting this circle just to make sure you understand that this, I have taken it, I have included the median in this half, although it was not part of the top half, but as the number of observations are odd, so I have to include this median 5, right? The median of the entire data set. Now we find Q3. So the Q3 will be equal to the median of this top half, right? So median of this top half, and this is actually the 7. 7 is the Q3. So we have a Q1, we have a Q2, and we have a Q3. Okay, now we are going to find IQR. Now let us find IQR. Recall the formula for the IQR. It's Q3 minus Q1. Our Q3 is 7 and our Q1 is a 3, so the IQR comes out to be 4. So that's as simple as this. Now we are asked to find the 5-number summary. Recall from the definition, the 5-number summary is the minimum value, the first quartile, the second quartile, the third quartile, and the maximum value. Look at our data set. Our minimum value is 1. So the minimum value is 1. The first quartile is 3. The second quartile is 5. The third quartile is 7. And the maximum value is 9. These five number is called a 5-number summary. These 5 number is called the 5-number summary. So I hope you are able to understand, but I have taken a very simple example, and I am hoping with this simple example you are able to understand how to compute a quartile. We actually have computed, but I have taken a very simple example. In a real life situation, or in an exam or in a homework problem, you may find a little difficult example, but that's how you compute this by hand computation. But nowadays there are software packages are also available, and in the later part of this video series I will also show you how to do the same computation by using Microsoft Excel. So I hope you understand this video. If you have any question, please write me an email. Thank you very much.